we're baking up some homemade brown sugar cinnamon Pop-Tarts. So we're first going to be working on the dough, and I use the same exact Pop-Tart dough every time. So first we have some flour, and then we have some salt. I'm then going to be cutting the butter into cubes. And just using my fingers, I'm going to toss it around. And then we'll press the butter into the flour mixture. And I like to do this for a few minutes. So at this point, this is how that mixture should look so far. And then our last ingredient for the dough will be some light corn syrup. And I will say, if you don't want to use corn syrup, you can definitely just do a standard pie dough instead for the Pop-Tart dough. I just like using this specific recipe because it resembles an actual Pop-Tart. So with our corn syrup added, I'm just going to toss it around with a spatula to start. And now I'll just use my hands. So now with our dough wrapped up and prepared, we're going to put it in the fridge to get nice and cold. Our dough is nice and cold, so now we're going to be rolling it out. And then I'll be using a rectangle cookie cutter to get things cut out. So this is what it'll look like. And once we have it, I'll put it on a parchment lined pan. So I was able to get 14 rectangles cut out, which will make 7 Pop-Tarts. Now I'm just going to put these back in the fridge to get nice and firm. So next we're going to be working on the brown sugar cinnamon filling for the Pop-Tarts. So I have some melted butter, and I'm going to add some brown sugar. I have some flour, cinnamon, and then a little bit of vanilla extract. And now our filling's fully combined. So we're going to be taking the bottoms of the Pop-Tarts, and I'm going to be adding about a tablespoon of filling. I'm next going to be brushing some water around the edges. I'll then take one of the tops, and then we'll get it covered. And then just using my fingertips, I'm going to get these enclosed. Alright, so now with all the Pop-Tarts covered, we're going to put them back in the fridge and preheat our oven. Alright, so we had our Pop-Tarts in the fridge for about 30 minutes, and now I'm just going to take a cake tester and poke some holes on top. With our oven set to 300, these will go in there for about 28 minutes. Alright, so I started out with 7, but one of them came out pretty bad, so we're going to remove that one, but I had 6 come out pretty good, so I like how they look. They're going to cool for a little bit longer, and while they do, we're going to work on the frosting. So the frosting's pretty simple, it just starts with some powdered sugar. We have some cinnamon, some vanilla, and as you can see I'm running out, and then a little bit of heavy cream. So our frosting's ready, and I just added it to this bag to pipe on, but you can of course just use a spoon or a spatula if you want. So whenever I frost Pop-Tarts, I like to start off by doing a rectangle outline. And after a few minutes of the outline set, we're going to fill everything in. Alright, so I was able to get all of them frosted, and we let them sit for a little bit after frosting them. They baked up really nicely, I like the crust, and they smell really great too. So now for the best part, I get to eat it. So this is still hands down my favorite Pop-Tart dough recipe. I like how much it resembles an actual Pop-Tart. And the brown sugar cinnamon is definitely one of my favorite flavors for sure. To me, it tastes almost identical to the ones you can get at the store. So I know there are a couple of different flavor requests and suggestions in the caption, so I'll be sure to try those out soon. And I'll definitely have the recipe details in the caption.